In this video, I will share with you ways to improve your balance, or if you feel you have weak ankles, a way to strengthen them. Hi, I'm Lenore. I help people reduce stiffness and pain through improving their body awareness, because you can't change what you're not aware of. This helps them improve function so they can continue doing the activities they love. Balance has to do a lot with the muscles of the ankle being able to support us and prevent us from falling over. The problem is we're so used to walking on flat surfaces that the ankle muscles don't get a lot of opportunity to be used in different ways and to be strengthened in different ways. So I will show you how strengthening those muscles can really change your balance. I get asked by people how they can improve their balance. And I would say the first thing is awareness. So I just want you to try something, and this is a little bit of a before picture. So just stand with your feet hip-width apart, toes pointing forward and arms just resting by your side. But just get a sense of where your weight is. Can you feel it in the left foot more or in the right foot more? Do you feel as if the weight is more in your heels, or do you feel it's more forward in the toes? After you get a basic sense of that, then you can begin to actually shift your weight. So just shift it side to side and just notice if shifting one way is easier than the other. Is there a difference in how things are responding up the chain, how it feels in your knees and your hips? There might be sort of a favorite side to put your weight into. And then just come back to center. Then shift the weight back into the heels and forward into the toes. Not so much that you're going to fall over, but you want to sense what is that like, and then just come to a still position. So the thing I want you to notice is there are three bony protrusions of your foot. One is the center of your heel, one is the ball of your foot, and the other is the base of your pinky toe. So just get a sense when you're standing here, those 3 points. So for me, that's like a tripod. Balancing on 3 points is a lot easier than balancing on one. So start by thinking about it that way. Okay, so now after you've done that, go ahead and shift your weight to one foot. I'm shifting it onto my left. And then bring your heel of the opposite foot off the floor. So now all your weight should be in your standing leg, and you can either stay there or you can start to float the foot up a little bit. So what I want you to notice here is the feeling of the muscles of your ankle working to adjust and adapt so that you don't fall. Okay, the other thing I want you to notice is, what is your breath like? Are you breathing? Are you holding your breath? And is there any gripping in the belly, in the back, in the jaw, in the shoulders? Can you let all of that go and just allow your ankles, the muscles of your ankle, to accommodate and help you stay balanced? All right, and then let that go. All right, so then you're going to do that on the other side, and after you do that, just notice which side is easier. So that's where you're at. We're going to be trying some different movements to strengthen the muscles of the ankle, and with each one you'll come back to that standing on one foot and balancing and see how it's starting to change and shift. So our foot or ankle can move in flexion. This is called dorsiflexion. It can also point, which is called plantar flexion. So that's kind of like the gas pedal. You've got your foot on the gas pedal, pointing and flexing, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. And then we have what's called inversion and eversion. So inversion is when it's like rolling on the outside edges of your feet, and eversion is where you're lifting the outside edges of your feet. So come onto the floor with your legs extended. You can just bend one leg if you like. And so the leg that's straight, you're just going to pull the toes towards you and then relax that. And pull the toes towards you and relax. So again, you'll feel the muscles at the front of your shin doing this, and then relax. And then we'll do the opposite. So point your foot, plantar flexion. You'll feel the muscles of the calf engage, and then release that. And then point and release, and point, release. So go back and forth between those two. Dorsiflexion, release, plantar flexion, release. You can do it slowly. You can do it a little more quickly. You can play around with the speed. But you want to do it until you start to get fatigued. So after doing that, get back up to standing, shift the weight to that leg you just worked, lift the opposite heel, and float the foot up if you like. So just notice what that is like and what difference you experience. Check in with your breath, make sure there's no gripping anywhere in the rest of the body. And then try it on the other side so you can highlight for your brain the difference. Okay, so now we're going to try inversion and eversion. When you invert your foot, you'll see the bottom of my foot move inward, and you'll feel the muscles of the inside of the lower leg activate. And then eversion, which is the opposite, outside muscles of the lower leg, and release that. So inversion, release, eversion, release. I'm going to show you from this angle. So my right foot will just stay still, but my left, I'm going to invert it. So see how the bottom of my foot's pointing to the right foot and saying hello, and then you're going to release that. And then everting is you're pulling the outer edge of that left foot to the left, and then relax that. So inversion, release, eversion, release. Go back and forth between these two. So now you will notice some movement at the knee here and actually all the way up to the hip. So that's fine. So go back and forth between those. Just notice if the toes want to get overly involved. It's okay if they get involved a little bit, but we really want this movement to be at the ankle. When people turn on their ankle, it is because these muscles of inversion and eversion are likely weak. And they just get weak because we're not walking on uneven surfaces very often. We tend to walk on pavement and smooth floors of our grocery store and whatnot. And so those muscles don't get a chance to actually be used. But they are designed, our feet, to adapt to walking on uneven surfaces. So that affects balance. So after doing that, get back up to standing, shift the weight to that leg you just worked, lift the opposite heel, and float the foot up if you like. So just notice what that is like and what difference you experience. Check in with your breath, make sure there's no gripping anywhere in the rest of the body. And then try it on the other side so you can highlight for your brain the difference. So for plantar flexion, which is when we point the foot, the best way to release the calf muscles, which are tight in most people, is to actually come to face the wall. You can bring your fingertips lightly on the wall for balance and have your feet pointing straight ahead, your toes. So you're simply going to come up onto your tippy toes and you'll feel your calf muscle activating. So slowly lower, like you're going down in an elevator, until your feet your heels land on the floor and you feel a relaxation of the calf muscles. So we'll repeat that. Come on up, feel the calf muscles working, and then slowly, probably for a count of 10 would be ideal, which will help control and lengthen those muscles. So you can take that a step further and either use a rolled up yoga mat, or if you have a half dome, you can use that. So take your yoga mat or half dome and bring the balls of your feet on that and keep your heels on the floor. So that's going to bring you into dorsiflexion, and you will feel a stretch of your calf muscles. So that alone is a nice stretch for them. But what you can do is just lean a little forward so you can come up on your tippy toes. And then the same thing we did before, you're going to slowly lower. And now we don't have the floor in the way, so we can lower even further below the level of the forefoot. Okay, so you're going to come up, calf muscles working, and then slowly lower down from there with as much control and as slow as you can until your heels land on the floor. And then you can come off of that. Return to your balance exercise. So shifting the weight into the left foot, lift the right heel and float that foot up. And then again, notice the response of your left ankle, how it's adjusting to keep you balanced. And then check in with your breath. Is there any grippiness here? Can you find ease in this pose in the upper body? And just feel the work of your ankle muscles. And then let that go. Compare to the right side. So shift the weight to the right foot, lift the left heel off, and float the foot up a little bit if you like. So just notice how this feels, and then release. Another way you can strengthen the ankle muscles is in ankle on knee. The action of the foot here, you can bring it into dorsiflexion, so pull the toes towards the knee, and bring it into eversion. So you're trying to bring the outer edge of your foot towards the knee. And if you hold those two and then come into the position, you will feel a lot of muscular effort there of that ankle. The other ankle, this free foot here, you can do the same thing. Pull the toes towards the knee, evert the foot, and hold that there. So the idea is to hold those, make sure there's not anything else helping. This is the awareness piece, any compensations. Can you breathe and hold this for a count of 10 to 15, and then release. Relax that. You can stretch your legs out. And then you can do the other side. Another way you can integrate it into your yoga practice is in Tadasana, where you actually lift the toes off the floor, keep the balls of the foot on the floor, and just hold it like that. Breathing. You can even do that in your chair pose, keeping the toes lifted and feeling the muscles not only of the toes flexing, but also a little bit of the ankle in that dorsiflexion. And for that matter, you could do it in any pose. So let's say you're in Warrior Two, lifting the toes off the floor and holding that in your Warrior Two pose. If you've enjoyed this video and found these tips helpful, please drop me a like below or subscribe to my channel. I look forward to sharing with you soon.